Hey, yes, it is Saturday night, people. This is not going to be very long. Matter of fact, I'm going to really, and I say this every time, and things end up going much longer, but I really am going to make a concentrated effort to keep this down to about 30 minutes or so. We'll see how that goes. If it is longer, I'm sorry. If it's shorter, hey, it's still under 30 minutes, right? But what I want to do tonight, and I've already ran this past my lawyer, and I ran it past Ruhif and some other people, because this is going to be filed really early on Monday morning. It already been notarized. It's all done. We're going to be giving my affidavit that I've basically, Kyle hasn't turned anything over to me. And one of the things that's going to be attached to that is a couple of exhibits. One of these is Exhibit A, which I've kind of transcribed into a Google document that I wrote. Matter of fact, I wrote this entire exhibit pretty much. But I kind of wanted to show you guys what Kyle has to turn over as far as assets to avoid jail. And the reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said, one, it's going to be filed anyways. And two, I want to get your opinion on whether you think he's going to show or not. And I want to show that we are going for everything. I want to be able to look back and say, hey, look, we gave him every opportunity, and when he doesn't show and doesn't turn everything over, it just makes it all the more sweeter. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it, right? So I'm going to start off by asking for a little vote here. First of all, the hearing is going to be on May 11th at 10 a.m. It is going to be at the Greensboro County office, or the Business Superior Court office. I don't have the exact address, but somewhere I do, but I don't remember what it is. But if you're in North Carolina, it is open to the public. You can go. And I want to ask you guys, one, do you think he's going to show? And here's what I'm thinking of this. One, I'm straight up going to tell you, and I've never lied to you guys. I hope he doesn't show, obviously. If he doesn't show, that's an automatic arrest warrant, right? And that is a bench warrant, which means they don't actively go out unless there's a reason to go out. Like we, say, hey, he is at this location, please come get him, which we will be doing. There's no way we're going to let him hide anywhere in North Carolina or any other state that he goes to. We will find him, and that makes it all the more sweeter. So I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't show, because then there's a 100% chance of an arrest, right? So if he does show, the chances are less than 100%, pretty much. Minor, but hey. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think he's going to show or not? I think he's arrogant enough to do so. I think that he's going to think that he's going to just tell the judge that he doesn't want to turn everything over. He doesn't have to, and then go from there. But as of right now, I just don't think he's going to show. But what do you guys think before we get started on here? And then I wanted to ask afterwards what you guys think. Now, you know what? I'm gonna have to parse this, because maybe I'm a little bit more closer to 50-50 than I think, because I think he really does want to talk to the judge. I think he really does want to spew his nonsense that he's been bloviating for 2 years now. Because I think he is delusional. I think he has absolutely bought into his own BS. And I think he wants the judge to kind of believe him too. I mean, this is how a narcissist actually thinks. So, yeah, I'm not going to say for sure he's not going to show. But he has 5 failure to appears already. So the chances are pretty slim. And so, I think as a betting person, I'd probably say he wouldn't, but who knows? I said he was going to show for the depot, and he did, so that was kind of strange, because most people were saying he wasn't going to show for that, and I said, no, I think he's going to show for the depot. And of course, he lied completely through the deposition. So, all right. So, does anybody want to weigh in on the live chat there? I know we got some people out there, but nobody's voting yet. So I kind of want to do it before and after, before we get started. For somebody, let me know what you guys think. And then we'll get into the exhibit here. I'm having some tea while I wait. It's just straight black tea, by the way, with a little bit of sweetener and milk. It's really good. That's it. All right, I want to keep this for a half hour, guys. So, anybody? You guys hear me in the live chat? Limo. Justin, Peter, anybody, Bearded. Somebody, give me your opinion on what you think he's going to show or not. Or maybe this is not updating on my end. Oh, it's not. Okay, there we go. All right, so Justice says, no show. OPT lawyer waves. Hey, OPT lawyer, hope you're doing well. We need to get in touch with each other and, set something up. I want to have a stream with you. I miss you, buddy. Jackalope says, no show. No show, no show, no show. He will show. Got to throw the door off. He will show. If Kyle shows as a one-way trip. No, I think most people are going to think he's going to no show. And again, I might change on this. Don't hold me to this. Right now, like I said, I think because he has so many failure to appears, he's just going to blow it off. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm wondering if that's just my hope and expectations, clouding my judgment on that. Because a part of me really does think he's going to show, only for the fact that he wants to tell the judge a bunch of nonsense. It's hard. It's really difficult to gauge this. So I'm gonna probably solidify in 50-50. I don't know. But we'll see what you guys think after this. So again, this is all the list of things that we're turning over to the court that he has to turn over to me because he's lost control of everything. So we're going to go through these bit by bit. Another reason why I'm doing this, if you guys see something or you don't see something, let me know. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because maybe we missed something. I try to be as concise as possible, right? But there's a lot of stuff. So you guys have been following this for a very long time. If you guys spot something I have missed, please let me know. Okay? Yeah, well, excuse me, he can run, but we will find him. He knows that. We have more than enough resources to wherever he goes, we will hunt him down. We will find him and we will have him arrested. There's no question about it. If he goes out of state, we will find him. He knows this. I don't think he's that far gone to not think for a second we were going to just like give up on him if he gets an arrest warrant out for him. Even if it's a bench warrant, we know where he's at. We know how to find him. If not, we'll have people that will. I mean, so that's a non-factor right there. So I'm kind of hoping he does run because straight up, if he runs, there's a higher chance of resisting arrest, you know, and I would like to see that. So, he absolutely thinks he's right. He's deluded himself that he thinks he's right. Yeah, we'll get into that another time because, again, I want to get this down to 30 minutes. So, all right, let's start this off. So I'm just going to I put these so I can only see like really one at a time because I want to go through each one real quick. So the first one, the NonSequitur Show website. This isn't actually a domain, right? So if he's lost this domain, that's going to be a problem for him because he's going to have to figure out a way to buy it back and get it back to me. So that's and again, I want to show you guys these things because some of this stuff takes time. I don't think in 2 weeks he's able to turn all these things over. Matter of fact, I know for a fact a couple of these things will take at least a month to do. Okay, so he has to reactivate certain things, and that takes some time because I've already contacted the people that do all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, you have to submit a form, you have to do this to reactivate. It's going to take some time. So, all right, so that's number one, the website. These are in no particular order, by the way. The YouTube channel. That we already know he's not going to turn over. He's going to sit and run in jail forever on that one, which I don't even understand why. It's a dead channel. But hey, you know, it's just a thing to him. It's funny is I'm more concerned about some of the other things on the channel, but whatever. But he thinks that by keeping the channel, it's somehow going to like screw everybody else over. Okay, whatever. As long as you sit in jail for it, I don't care. This is what I really want. I want some of the financials, right? I want the financial records, and so some of the financials are like the Patreon account. So I want that. I want the Teespring account. Okay, which by the way, Teespring was kind of funny because I actually suggested that to Kyle. That was my idea to him, and he even said on the Death of NonSequitur show he wanted 100% of Teespring. Really? Okay. The Streamlabs account. Okay, I definitely want that because it has financials. The user and password access to the NonSequitur Show Twitter accounts, NonSec Show and the NonSec. NonSec Show at NonSec Show was the original name. Mr. Curtis apparently gave that name to someone else, and when he renamed the Twitter Audio Not, which comes important later on here, you'll see, and then changed it again to the NonSec. So, that's another thing he has to turn over. And by the way, that's funny on the Twitter is all that information is always stored on Twitter. Twitter doesn't get rid of anything. So that information will always be there. We can subpoena that if we need to, actually. So if for some reason he goes to jail and he doesn't turn over the Twitter, we will ask the court to subpoena two things. We'll ask the court to subpoena Twitter for all the things under that account. So we will get it, and we'll also have YouTube transfer over the channel as well. We can do that. So, but he has to go to jail first for us to do that, I think. Well, he doesn't have to, but that's what I want to see. We could have probably had the judge send something to YouTube already, or give us something to send to YouTube already, but we decided not to because we want Kyle to do it or fail to do it and then be in jail. Because I wasn't kidding when I said my number one priority is for him to be in jail. Straight up, my number one priority is for him to be in jail. So I'm not going to make it easy for him. I could have the channel turned over directly from the court by asking the court But if he goes to jail, I think it's a lot easier to do that. And then we know that he'd rather sit in jail. So Kawasa 10,001 Bulls VMix. What's hashtag? What about Mool? It's in there. It's in there. But thank you for thinking. Yep. The NonSequitur Show subreddit account. I'm pretty sure that he started this one, so I'm asking for it. And again, what's funny is I don't want this to the names and passwords. I want the actual accounts, and I don't know how he's going to be able to do that because a lot of this has two-party verification. And I don't know how he's going to be doing it from jail if he fails to turn it over. So it's not just the name and password at this point. It has to be physically turned over. I have to actually have it in my possession. It's not just giving me the passwords now. So before it was this name and passwords, now it has to be turned over to me. The Facebook page and the Facebook group, which was a group for the Non-Sequitur Show, that needs to be turned over to me. The public Non-Sequitur Show Facebook page, that needs to be turned over to me. That was the actual one that you could log in on, right? Not the there's two things on Facebook. You have the public page, it's just the Facebook, and then you have the account, right? So I want both of those. All right, the Non-Sequitur Show Discord. Yes, I want that as well. He has argued that he didn't start that. I have evidence that he did, which we have submitted to the court, and probably will submit again. I'm not sure if we need to. I don't think we really do. But the court is well aware that he has to turn that over. If he doesn't have it in his possession, that's just too damn bad. He has to get it back. The onus has shifted to him. He's the contemptor. He has to actually demonstrate why he can't turn this stuff over. And I mean, it has to be a damn good reason. And the judge is not going to buy anything. We gave him evidence that he owns the Discord and he still has it. So the Non-Sequitur Show Discord account. Yes, that's the actual account. That's not the Discord itself. That's the Discord account that was under live@nonsexshow.com. So that's a different thing than the account itself, right? So there's a Discord and then there's an account to log on. We want the account, right? The Non-Sequitur Show Zoom account. Yes, it's a Zoom account that is under Non-Sequitur. The StreamYards account. There's a StreamYards account under Non-Sequitur. Every one of these I verified. Except for the Reddit. Again, hard to do on the Reddit, but I'm pretty sure that he started that. The license and transfer of the vMix software. Right? All right, so thank you, Kawasa, already on there. The Non-Sequitur Show PayPal. Yes, there is actually a PayPal. And not on this document, but on the other document that I actually gave to my lawyer that's not being submitted, I gave a link for every one of these things. So every one of these things, I gave a link to verify with my lawyer that they do exist or did exist, and what they were under. So I did go through and I literally show that each one of these had a link associated with, like the PayPal account, the Amazon account. I have the wish list for that, and so every one of these. So we need the Amazon account. Right. We also want the Amazon account wish list, right? Because we know things were purchased off that. We have to turn all that over and all the assets donated to it. I know this has a spelling error, but again, I copied a lot of this over and this isn't the finalized version. Let's see here. This. All in all, Adobe software, including Adobe Suite, Photoshop, Acrobat, Premiere Pro, After Effects, InDesign, Illustrator, or any licenses relating to the Non-Sequitur Show that was purchased for the show. This one's something that I know that he got software, but we don't know what exactly the software was, so we're going to be finding that out. I'm pretty sure it's for the suite, the Adobe Suite, and I have somewhere that he mentions it, so we can demonstrate that too. The Periscope account. Now, you might ask, why do you want the Periscope account? That is, the Periscope account doesn't exist any longer. Well, actually, it does. They're not uploading anything to it. They're not putting it on Twitter, but the Periscope account still does exist. The Non-Sequitur Show Social Blade account. We want access to that. We want that completely turned over. The Ad Homies account related to the Non-Sequitur Show, because that was a work product. So that channel needs to be turned over to us. Yes, we get it all. We're asking for everything. Everything has to be turned over to us. He has lost everything. The Tastecraft. This one's I'm not sure of, and I'm not sure how that worked. He deleted the Tastecraft channel, but there is a Tastecraft topic account that has 3 subs containing music from the Non-Sequitur Show and Non-Sequitur Show assets and work product. That needs to be turned over to us. So that might be under his account. I'm not sure if that's auto-generated, but there's 3 subs to it. So we'll be asking for that as well, right? There's a lot of accounts. Yeah, no, when we're saying we're asking for everything, he needs to turn all this over by the 11th. Every one of these things to be out. These are the purge conditions we're asking for. And I'm sure we're going to get the purge conditions. All necessary credentials and passwords to all accessing podcasting services with a Non-Sequitur Show is accessible. Here we go. Sorry. You guys can. I'm having a hard time just kind of showing this. So let me see if I can make this larger. There we go. Where the Non-Sequitur Show is accessible, including but not limited to. Here we go. All these he has to turn over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spreaker, FM Radio, Google Podcasts, Audacities, TuneIn, Listen Notes. Could be Player FM, Podchaser, Stitcher, MyTuner, Podcast Owl, Tail, Podknife, the Podcast app, Anchor FM. Every one of these things that we have an account with, he needs to turn over. Right. All here we go. This is fun. All my lawyer loved this one too. All original high resolution. Every one of these I went through on the phone with my lawyer, and I showed him. You know, I gave him the links, show him every one was justifiable. He wanted to make sure that we can get every one of these. So I sat on the phone with my attorney going over every one of these. So he liked this one in particular. All original high-resolution assets, thumbnails, music files, channel banners, logo designs, merchant graphics, social media avatars, social media banners, website graphics, intro videos, end screen cards, podcast bumper music files, and any and all other artwork, graphics, or music associated with a Non-Sequitur Show. He has to turn over the original files, like like on a Google Drive or something. So all the stuff that he submitted on that letter that he had, all those thumbnails, he has to submit all those copies to the court or to us directly. How do you like that? Man, it's really hard to do this is for sure. The user name and password, all the sites containing music on all the Non-Sequitur Show and created as part of the business enterprise relating to the Non-Sequitur Show that Mr. Curtis has in the name Audionaut, including all domains, podcast streams, RSS feeds, and financial records relating to those sites from t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, prints, or any sales related to Audionaut and to transfer over. The reason for this is because Kyle had put on the Twitter Audionaut on the Non-Sequitur Show. He had changed the name of it, which means he was promoting the Audionaut for the Non-Sequitur Show account. All that belongs to the Non-Sequitur Show now. I've again cleared this with my lawyer. He's like, yep. He's like, he promoted it using the Non-Sequitur Show. We can ask for it. So he had a bunch of shirts under Audionaut. He was selling out of it wasn't Teespring, but it was another company. So we want all the financial records for that as well that we're going to be asking for. And when we mean financial records, we mean the actual financial records, not what he submitted to the court. That includes all bank account information. So you guys are going, why are you giving all this advanced information out? It doesn't matter. This is going to be filed again Monday morning. So I want people to know what we're asking for. And again, so you guys could let us know if we forgot everything. Or anything that you can think of. You know, we still got time. The affidavit that I have has already been signed as far as my affidavit. The exhibit, that could be changed. So if there's anything we need to add to this exhibit, I still got time to do that. All emails relating to the Non-Sequitur Show accounts, live at nonsecshow.com, Kyle at nonsecshow.com, and Steve at nonsecshow.com. These have been parked. I don't remember the name of the company. I have called them. Those accounts are still there. They are not active, but they are still there. They need to be reactivated. You need to submit a form to them to reactivate them and then transfer the domainship over to me. That takes about 30 days. Okay, that takes a while to do. But Kyle cannot get out of these purge conditions until he turns all those emails over to us. They're all still there. They're all server side. They're all safe. If we have to subpoena the records, we can do that. But that doesn't get him out of the purge condition, because if we have to subpoena those accounts, that doesn't mean he has turned them over to us, which means he's still under contempt, right? So the way it works for civil contempt is that they have to have a purge condition. The purge condition is, what do they have to do in order to not be in contempt? These are the purge conditions. These are everything that he has to turn over to avoid being in contempt. Does that make sense? Somebody had asked, how do you turn them over when you're in jail? I had asked my lawyer this. He said the way you have to do it, if you've already been incarcerated, basically, is you have to have somebody do it for you. He said you can have somebody do it for him, but most likely he would have Scott, my lawyer, do it, right? He would be working directly with my lawyer, he would be in real time with my lawyer turning things over from his phone, because there's two-party authentications to this stuff. It's not a matter of just turning over the passwords. It is a matter of it has to be authenticated and things like this. So he probably just has to give his phone and his email access to Scott, and Scott would have to actually manually go in and probably do all this stuff, or we would have to. That's probably the easiest way I can think of. But the thing is it's not our concern, right? That's his concern, how he has to do that. And then the BitChute account that we want as well. The YouTube channel NonSequitur Show, which is a channel, not the main channel, but the channel produced automatically from podcast feeds, which change just the podcast. I don't remember how many subs on that one. I don't remember, it was like 80 something. I don't even remember. It's not very many, but it's a channel automatically created by Spreaker, I think it is. But that's under his name. That needs to be turned over. And then we have a Render Force account, and that was pretty much all I could think of. So, based upon those, what do you think he'll show or not? Oh, yeah. No, he says, can't the company take these accounts when the court proves you own them? Yes. But that means we have to individually send things to them. And that doesn't meet the purge conditions, right? We don't want to do that. We want Kyle to do it himself, because if he doesn't do it, he can spend up to a year in jail. Then we have to refile, and then he still stays in jail. So he'll stay in jail as long as it takes until he works out an agreement with us. And there's other reasons we want that to happen. So yes, we could get a court order from the judge to turn these things over directly to them, right? If so, they could send something to, YouTube, or they could send something to BitChute or whatever, and we could have them turn it over directly. But that's not what we want to do. Is that Limo says? Is it at your discretion to let some things go if, say, something like PSPC or broke or no fault of his? It is at our discretion, yes. Clearly, we can say, okay, we will forsake this if he gives us this. Yes, we can work something out. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, we decide that. The judge has asked us, has he met the purge condition? This is what the judge wanted to know. I have signed an affidavit that'll be submitted Monday morning that has stated that these purge conditions have not been met. He has not turned over anything. Not a single thing has he turned over. And when I don't think I didn't see it in here. Maybe let me see here. In the one that I sent to the lawyer. Again, this is just a Google Doc I was working with, but there's another one that says we need all the bank account records, like literally all his financial records from all his bank accounts. That's another thing he has to turn over. Yeah. So yeah, that's not on this list, but it's on the list that I submitted to the lawyer. I don't know why I didn't put it on here. Maybe I didn't copy paste it, but on the original, it does include all the bank records. So let me see something real quick. So what do you guys think now? Think he's going to show? And what do you think is going to happen? And let me see if I can find my original document here. Yeah, see, here, I'll show you real quick. So this is my original document that I have all the links for everything. So I literally went through and I was like, okay, these are all the links that we have. So just shows the court that there is a there is something there to be had. And these are all the things I could find under NonSequitur, the podcast stuff. So I did link all these. I did show my lawyer they do all exist. And then here we go. Included all financial records from bank accounts associated with the NonSequitur Show, including those related to AdSense. Can you guys see this? Let's see here. Yeah, this is actually sent to my lawyer. All financial records from bank accounts associated with the NonSequitur Show, including those from AdSense, Patreon, Teespring, PayPal, Streamlabs, Redbubble, and any ad revenue and from any and all podcasts or YouTube channels related to the NonSequitur Show. There you go. So that is in the copy that I sent the lawyer. Anything else you guys can think of? Because like I said, I want to keep this down very short. This is not going to be a very long hangout. I'm going back to sleep here. I've been resting most of the day. I don't think it's because of the shot. I've just been really tired. Although I will tell you, my left arm, there's a little pain where the injection site is. It's nothing bad by any stretch of imagination. It's pretty much nothing. It just feels like, you know that feeling you get when you have a pimple or something, you squeeze it and it kind of hurts afterwards. It's kind of like that. Nothing extravagant. So I'm not even worried about it. I think I heard from the second shot, it's a lot worse. So, but I did get the first one from Moderna, the first shot. So Bearded Heretic says, I think he thinks it will show. Last ditch attempt to justify his actions. And you might be right. I'm kind of am leaning that way for some reason, though. I mean, I think my emotions are letting the best of me. I want him not to show, and I want him to be arrested at home. But maybe I do have to be a little more practical and realize that, okay, he is a narcissist. He is, he has deluded himself to think he's done nothing wrong. The case is over. He doesn't realize this. I mean, he's done. The case is done. Right now, it's just going for, how long does he want to stay in jail for not abiding by the rules of the court? That's it. And by the way, none of this has anything to do with the criminal aspect of the court case. Nothing. There will hopefully be a criminal contempt hearing as well, either during or after. And there's also, we're going to be pushing for prosecution with the DA. So that's a whole different ballgame. That takes a lot longer. So one thing at a time. So yeah, Justin got his Pfizer. That one, the Pfizer shot, you'd have to wait 2 weeks. I think it is like 20 days or something like that. For the second shot on the Moderna, it's 28 days. And everybody I know in the second shot says, yeah, it did kind of get to them. The AstraZeneca is not in the United States yet. They had it. They have that overseas, like in Australia. So, yeah. But, anyways, like I said, I just want to give you guys a little heads up because you guys have been following this stuff, and I wanted to give you guys an advanced copy of this before it goes public. It's kind of one of those things. The least I can do because I don't really have a lot to offer. People that have supported my channel and stuff like that. So I told my lawyer and I told Ruhif and I told Reds, and I was like, what's the big deal if we submit it, publicly two days before Monday, especially, Sundays tomorrow and stuff like that. To give you guys an idea of, we're not messing around. We are asking for a ton of stuff, right? Some of the other stuff, I mean, I don't know why this was on the other one, but we're asking for all the items, including the computer equipment, laptop monitors, lighting, microphones, and any equipment purchased with the Non-Sequitur Show funds. Right? So we're asking for that as well. We want a full accounting of all the assets. That needs to be done. Because we know he got lighting equipment from some people. We know he got a laptop. We know he he spent money on stuff. We want to know where the funds went. And by the way, from what I have heard, that he said he tried to pay me numerous times. Where's the evidence for this? He's never tried to pay me once. That's just absolute nonsense. Every time I asked him what about the money, he kept on saying, well, my CPA has it. He'll contact you. Find out he'd lied about having a CPA. It wasn't just about lying about having a lawyer. He lied about having a CPA. This is why I wrote the letter to Mr. Atheist. Show us that he has the money. Where is the money? That was the biggest reason all this happened, because the money wasn't accounted for. And so how could he pay me when he didn't even have anybody see the money? And nobody has seen the money. And that's what's funny when people say, well, I know we had money in the account to pay him. No, he didn't. I mean, he may have. Nobody knows, right? Because there's been no money. There's no paper trail. We've been looking for that. That's why. But no, if he would have had any single opportunity to pay me and he would have shown me the books, hell yeah, I would take the money. That's what I was asking for. I was asking for $1,000 a month. That's another reason why this all happened. I literally had said to him, why don't you just pay me $1,000 a month out of a draw, and that way, we can figure out the taxes and all this stuff afterwards. I literally told him this. He never got back to me. He never did anything on that. I was like, so what's this narrative that he tried to pay me? I mean, this is absolute. I mean, the amount of delusion he has is beyond measure, because I have all the evidence for this stuff. He has nothing, because none of it exists. The only evidence he has is fabricated. Literally fabricated evidence, and he's out there going, well, I didn't forge anything. Let's hypothetically speaking, let's pull the OPT lawyer approach as thinking like a lawyer. Even if he himself did not forge these documents and someone did it for him, he submitted to them as they were true and correct. He is part of that conspiracy. That is conspiracy to commit forgery, which is the same as committing forgery itself. For all practical purposes, that is him doing forgery. Now, I think he personally did it himself, right? Because it just makes sense. He has the means, the motive, and the opportunity, and the know-how to do it. right? And he obviously knew they were forged. I mean, because he wouldn't log into the account during the deposition. And I mean, the account wasn't even open until after the things he had submitted, right? So there's no question they were forged. That's already in evidence. And this if you guys haven't watched Cheshire's video on the breakdown of Kyle's quote interview the other night, go check it out. It's absolutely a riot. And supposedly, from what I understand, he has said that what was it? There's something that really stood out to me. I was like, whoa, what? There's more than just he didn't forge it. Something to the effect that like I forged the documents before that any of that. So I'm trying to wrap my head around this still. We supposedly had submitted forged stuff to show that he had forged stuff rather than just showing that he forged stuff, like real evidence, like subpoenas that we were going to do. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, I mean, what does that even mean? Everything we have submitted has been 100% true and correct. Everything has been absolutely the truth. We have not deviated on anything since the beginning, and we made sure that every affidavit has evidence to back it up. Just like I said, even my main exhibit here, Exhibit A, I even though we're not submitting all that to the court as far as links, I have all the links. We have all the evidence for this stuff. It's just that the court doesn't really care about the links. So I have all this stuff just in case they do need it, right? But I back everything up. But the actual copy we're submitting doesn't require the links, so it won't require any of that blue stuff. Lilimo says, apparently saying, do you want your money repeatedly is the definition of being transparent to some people. Yeah, was there any other questions you guys got? I mean, like I said, I watched Cheshire's breakdown, and it was just a riot. I was dying. Her and Manya was just, oh my God, it was hilarious. There was golden quotes in there. I didn't forge anything. Okay. Yeah, and he's basically talking about the community, and he doesn't seem to realize that the community that's supporting him now is not the NonSequitur Show community. The NonSequitur Show community did not fund his fundraiser for her lawyer that withdrew on him because he lied to her, right? And by the way, it had nothing to do with non-payment. The rule is 1.1b, and she submitted under 1.16b 1, 4, 7, and 10. None of those have to do with non-payment. That would be number 5. So if it was 1.16b5, that would have been for non-payment. So this was not due to non-payment. This was because of conflict of interest because he had lied to her. That's what you would submit. If you have a client that has not been honest with you and you can no longer continue because it would be perpetrating fraud on the court, you would submit it under that rule 1.16b 1, 4, 7, and 10. And OPT lawyers in the live chat, I'm sure he'll hopefully agree with that. But yeah, so that anybody who said that he just stopped paying his lawyer, that's nonsense. That would be filed under 5. What else in that? Anything else? I'm trying to think that it was in Cheshire's video. Oh yeah, it was another thing that supposedly he kept offering a contract to me. Where was this? I never seen a contract. We had a contract, and I've said this a million times. And straight up, anybody who says I said we have a written contract, I'll show them is lying. That has never happened. There's been never ever evidence for that because it never occurred. I've always said we had a verbal contract that was evidential in writing, that was supported in writing. That's how a handshake agreement works. It's a verbal agreement that has evidence supported in writing. We have all the stuff in writing. That doesn't mean the same as a written contract. We've never had a written contract, and Kyle never formulated a written contract. Kyle didn't want a written contract. He didn't want a DBA. We had talked about that with Dave McGinnis, and he's like, no, we don't need any of that. So any of this narrative that he was trying to get me to sign a contract, absolute nonsense. Killer 8528 A2, that's part, the tax records. Yeah, that's part of the financials. Yeah, so we will have included that in the financials. Yes. I don't think I specifically said that, but that's a good point. I think I should actually explicitly put tax records. Yep. All right. So any other questions? I'm trying to, like I said, I keep trying to think what, going to Unicorn and Cheshire were saying, because I was putting it on 1.5 speed because it was like 3 hours long and I listened to them very fast. But man, it was funny. It was just, I was rolling. It was so funny. I was like, who believes this stuff? I mean, literally, everything Kyle has done has been a complete lie from day one, and yet there are still people that believe him. And he even admits it. He's like, I can say whatever, and people will still believe me. I'm like, yeah, that's called a con man. That's how religious people, get conned. He has turned into the very thing that he has always hated, Let's see here. Bearded asked, do you think he was planning this from the start, or do you think this just what ended up from happening? I don't think he planned it from the start. I think he just, his narcissism got the best of him, and he woefully underestimated me, and he underestimated how meticulous I am at keeping, things as far as information to back my shit up. I had all the evidence from day one. He had absolutely nothing. This is why he had to fabricate evidence. If he was ever thought that he had a chance, that he thought he ever was in any kind of correct thing, why did he have to fabricate all this stuff to the court? Right? I never had to, because I had all the things from the original day one that we're talking about. Our 50-50 partnership, which, by the way, he's already admitted to. The court recognizes it, and yet you still have people out there going, you never had a partnership. Oh, come on. I mean, how dumb do you got to be? I mean, that's beyond my imagination at this point. This is like legit flat earth level stupidity of some people. To think for a second he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, but it's okay, because I don't care. I want that to happen, because my goal, again, is for him to end up in prison. Okay, jail's good too, but prison's better, but I'll take what I can get. And I know how much that scares him. I know how much he is deathly afraid of going back to jail again. And the scary part is all he has to do is turn all this stuff over and he can get out of it. This is why, another reason why I'm doing this. I'm showing what he has to do to get out of the purge condition. I mean, all he has to do is just say, "Oh, look, here's evidence. I turned all this stuff over." He can't go to jail for that then. And I'm telling you, he's still not going to do it. And that's why that makes it all the better to me. So. All right. So, any other questions? Let's see here. Will any of the money go to Bullinator's family? Bullinator's family's been well taken care of and stuff. We miss Bullinator so much. I still have a hard time coping with that, to be honest with you. But Bullinator's family really is fine. Yeah, Smitty says, well, he says a golden unicorn. Do you think his worm tongues could have encouraged him that Steve's a bad guy and doesn't matter what you do to him? Then Kyle starts stealing. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's the way they justified it. Oh, Steve pissed off Aaron Raw. Therefore, you screwing him over, lying to people, trying to smear his reputation, say that he committed fraud, say that he did all this stuff, how bad of a toxic person he is, and blah blah blah. I think it's all justified because he made Aaron Raw upset. That's their reasoning. Brandon Higgs for $2. It's all ego at this point. Oh, absolutely, it's ego. And that's fine with me. Brandon, I'm relying on that. I have been so transparent in all this. I have said from day one, I'm relying on the fact that his ego gets the best of him and that he doesn't show. Because at least if he shows, he might be able to BS his way. Not going to happen, but at least try. But if he doesn't show, there's no chance. There's zero. He will have an arrest warrant. We will find him. He will go to jail. That I will make sure of. Even if I have to have him tracked down personally and then call the sheriff's department and say, he's right here, come pick him up. And they will. They don't mess around in that county. So, but it is not an active warrant. It is a bench warrant, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that we cannot have people go find him. And we have, I'll tell you right now, we have somebody hired already, a professional, ready to go. So somebody has said that, oh, Steve can't hire anybody. Want to bet? We want to bet money on that. These are the same people that said, oh, Kyle, didn't get served properly. Anybody who knows law can tell Kyle didn't get served properly. Of course, it's going to get set aside. We all know that's going to get set aside. Kyle got served improperly. Steve fraudulently, had him served at a wrong address. Well, that was all wrong. That narrative didn't go very well. Now, did it? Find out he didn't even move. So, yeah, those same people are still trying to give legal information and stuff like that. It's so bad. One Warped Angel for $10. Thank you, One Warped Angel. That is appreciated. Can't believe he is pretending that he is waiting for a judge to make a decision. And that heard that as well, I thought. Yeah, was that my imagination? Or do he still think there's a decision to be made from the judge? There's no decision to be made. And by the way, somebody was telling me about, can he appeal? No, well, technically, maybe, but there's nothing to appeal on. There's no grounds for appeal. Grounds for appeal must be on the court did something wrong, not me. The court did something wrong. There's been nothing that the court did was wrong. And it would cost about $25,000, I guess, to appeal if I had to come up with a number. But what is there to appeal? The court didn't do anything wrong. The judge has nothing to rule on here. All the judge is going to – I'm going to tell you how this goes if he shows. If he doesn't show, I'll tell you both ways. And my lawyer will be there. If he doesn't show, it's automatic contempt. Gets a bunch of warrant. We go find him and hopefully get him arrested in his house, where that may be, and he goes to jail. That's a given. That's the way that's going to happen. If he does show – the judge is going to ask him, or my lawyer is going to ask him, which of these have you turned over, and why not have you turned over the other things? And he's going to have to explain why he hasn't turned over all of them. Reed Sharp wrote $5. His stream with Uni was great. He literally said "F you" to anyone who thinks he was in the wrong. Yeah, that was Cheshire had pointed that out. It's like okay, so anybody who thinks that, he basically said anybody who thinks he was wrong for screwing over a 50-50 partner, lying to the fans, stealing all the money, committing forgery, perjury, multiple counts of perjury, submission of altered evidence, and embezzlement, which is something that we have been talking about going for, is embezzlement, which is the criminal aspect of fraudulent conversion with the DA. Yeah, so anybody who thinks that he was in the right for any of that stuff, great, but he thinks that anybody who thinks it was wrong, big F you, which, by the way, is pretty much every Non-Sequitur Show fan. I don't know any Non-Sequitur Show fan that has sided with them. If there are, I haven't really been paying attention, but he doesn't realize that that community he's talking about, that community that he loves, is not the Non-Sequitur Show community. It is a bunch of troll community. Matter of fact, the names on his fundraiser were all trollish type things. None of them were, serious. They were all just, they were funny, don't get me wrong, but they were all trolls. There's probably one person who did most of it, because of the way that was written. But yeah, I mean, at least in our communities, these are real people. These are actual people that like the content. If he shows and tries to BS his way, it could be actually worse for him. The judge can impose other reparations. I hate to say it, but probably not. I mean, he theoretically could do a criminal contempt if he got that bad, but I don't see that happening. The criminal contempt, that'll be something different, and that'll be because he willfully interfered with the court proceedings. But that's a different thing altogether. That has nothing to do with the civil contempt hearing, unfortunately. I don't think they're going to do it adjudicated at the same time, because the hearing isn't for that. I don't know. My lawyer will ask the judge about that, when that was going to be adjudicated. All right, I am way over time, haven't I? How long has this been going now? 43 minutes. So I want to keep this down to 45 minutes. So we got 2 minutes. I said half hour. I'll take 45 minutes. So last question out there. Tell it to me now, and I'll see you guys on Monday. We're going to be doing Judgment Call with Cheshire at 11 a.m. on Monday. Hey, Tal Software. Good to see you out there, buddy. By the way, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, go watch my video review of Aaron Ra and those 3 Muslims. I think it was a really good review. It was a lot to cover, unfortunately, but let me guys know what you guys think of it, and share that video everywhere, because I want atheists to see how bad some of these people get into these philosophical discussions, and it just looks so bad. Let's see here. Always afraid that I'm going to miss something. I don't want to miss anything. Oh, and by the way, there was somebody who donated $10 to my PayPal last stream that I didn't get a shout out to. So I want to thank them for that. That was I think it goes by 3 rusted nails. 3 rusty nails. So I want to thank 3 rusty nails for that, if he's listening to this particular stream. It's so funny too, because I'll leave you guys with this. God, something says something along this. Steve didn't thank his supporters and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, really? So all you people that have supported me, every one of my Patreons, please let me know if I've forsaken you, not thanked you when you became a Patreon, because one of the things I try to go out of my way to do is, if you become a Patreon, I will send you a thank you as soon as I see it, instantaneously, or it might be sleeping in the next day, whatever. But I get back to them instantaneously. I thank everyone who's donated through PayPal. I read all my super chats. I thank every one of them. I thank all the people that had donated to the fundraiser. And I said I didn't have the ability to do each one individually, so I did it collectively. I don't have a problem with that. None of them did either. But if you support this channel and you become a member, I thank you. every single time. And my patrons know this. And this is why I have a following of people that trust me and Kyle doesn't, because everything he says is an absolute lie, because the evidence shows the contrary. Because I got to tell you, I mean, ask my patrons, ask any one of them. We got patrons in the live chat. Modest Extremist says, you missed everything I said, but good luck anyways. Hope you get it all. I didn't see any super chat from you. I'm kind of just looking at the super chats right now. I apologize, Modest Extremist. But I will go back and I will look on this. How about this? He says, why? Well, that is why I think you should go after those inflated copyright claims he invented with a piece of kangaroo poop. He tried to commit fraud in the court. Yeah, we're working on that too, Modest Extremist. So I will read that. I apologize. I didn't know Modest Extremist was a patron of mine or a channel supporter. I don't think that's the case. But subpoena those records he invented to try to come after you with copyright claims. Yeah, we're on top of that too, I think. Does that work? Hey, Colorado Vodka Prepper. Jackalope says, I received a thank you when I became a member. Thank you, Jackalope Herdmaster. Yeah, like I said, I make sure that I do thank the people that support me. I always have. This is why, again, people that listen to Kyle, everything it says is basically just bizarre world. It is 100% the opposite. It's 180 degrees from reality. And I think that he has actually self-deluded himself. I think his mind is so addled that he has begun to believe his own lies. And that's fine. I want that. I don't care. There's nothing. I have nothing left to lose at this point. Right? I mean, there's nothing. I can only gain from here on out. He has his entire life to lose. He could literally spend 5 to 10 years in jail at this point if and when this goes to the DA. And of course, you know, they're going to look back and say, okay, you also had civil contempt and you didn't do anything, and that will affect the criminal, I think, to some degree. So, Modest Extremist says, okay, now I'm happy. I'm just a sub, but I agree with this case 100%. Thank you, Modest Extremist. My goal is to make people happy. I just want people to be happy. Smitty, would you let me punch you in the face for $30,000? Because apparently no matter white collar crime can be equal to any violence. I'll let you do it for $150, bud. You're a wuss. And I could take a punch. But and now would I let Mike Tyson hit me in the face for $30,000? Probably not. What good is $30,000 if you're dead, right? So Peter Harrington says, I would become a member but can't afford it, so I help Steve another way. Absolutely, Peter. Thank you. And you have done so much. Peter has actually been very supportive. He submitted an affidavit for us when we asked him to. He does amazing memes. Support doesn't have to become in the way of financial. Come on. My supporters are people that like the channel because of what is on it. They like the content. That to me is support. I don't think Kyle has any support. I think he has 3 people that still believe him. And, you know, he's just for some reason hasn't recognized that the people that support him aren't people that support him. They're people that are against me for whatever reason. And even people that are against me, even some of them are going, oh yeah, well, Steve's a poopy head, but Kyle absolutely has lied to people and fabricated stuff. And yet when they say that I've lied to people, you asked them for the evidence for that. Where is the evidence? Oh, it's out there. Okay. Where? Still waiting for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting to see how me, Ruhif, and Astronomy Live all got together and fabricated using Python evidence that Kyle had changed the information on Discover documents prior to getting a subpoena from Discover that actually showed the edits that he made, and that anybody can go do. It's called objective valid verification. Anybody can go look to see that they can objectively verify that he made those edits. Why would we even need to fabricate anything? The intelligent mail barcode that was discovered by Ruhif. It was supported by an officer of the court, which was a person who worked for Scott's law firm, which was my lawyer. They independently verified that address had been altered. And so, there was one other thing. That's what I know I'll leave you guys with. Supposedly, someone said that in order for this stuff to be submitted as fraud or perjury or forgery, we need an expert witness to come in and testify that. And the judge said that. Judge never said that. That is absolute nonsense. The subpoenas are what is evidence that it is the case. We do not need an expert for that at all. Never have. So anybody who said that we need an expert to come in and rule on that, nope. If Kyle thinks that the court isn't unaware that it has been forged, he is deluding himself, and that's particularly, it's perfectly fine. But no, that has already been established. The court is well aware that the court records he submitted and the originals do not match, and that the account was not even open until after the evidence that he had submitted as those dates. So the dates he had were August. The account wasn't even as open until October. Clearly forgery. I mean, there's just no question about that. So I don't know what he's thinking about why you need an expert for that. Anybody can recognize time travel is not a thing. And so you don't need an expert for that. I don't know where anybody got that idiotic idea from. That's just completely stupid. All right, we're at 50 minutes now with 20 minutes. Wow. You know, I say for a half hour, right? And just for some reason can't keep to that. Well, no, I started at 7:15, right? So that's not too bad. 20 minutes over. I just like talking to you guys sometimes. So, you know, I kind of want to like end this soon, but at the same time, cool to hang out on Saturday night. I'm not drinking anything because of my shot. I heard that you tend to not want to mess with your immune system while the shot's working, because the shot, you know, it messes with your immune system. And I do have another friend that caught COVID, so unfortunately, anybody who thinks this stuff's not real, they're just wrong. It is very, very real. And I do recommend highly going out and getting those immunization shots, because if you do eventually catch it, the symptoms are going to be far less from what I understand. And so a few days of discomfort is completely fine with me. And again, it's just a little sore. I mean, it's nothing really. I mean, do I notice it? Yeah, but I've had shots before, so who cares? I've had far worse. Let's see here. Paul La Madeleine. That's a kind of a cool last name. La Madeleine. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it is cool. $25. Thank you, Paul. Go get yourself a bottle of good whiskey. Done deal, man. I will be drinking that during the hearing. How about that? Or before, or somewhere around that time. I will be going get a bottle of Johnny Walker Black with that, Paul, and I will show it on camera. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I got some Canadian whiskey, but let's be real here. I'm sorry, Canadian whiskey doesn't nothing like Johnny Walker Black. Sorry, Canadians. It's not bad whiskey, but I use it for cooking. All right, I use the cheap whiskey for cooking because I like the flavor on chicken. But the good whiskey for drinking, like Johnny Walker Black, that's good stuff. So, let's see here. Oshkosh Bajosh, you're on your second shot. Cool, man. Awesome. Good to hear that. Yeah, I mean, because we've already lost enough people this year, man. I mean, and one of my other friends just got over having it, and he said it was miserable. So he was not happy camper. Oh, let's see here. Very good, Steve. First try, you got it. Thank you, Paul. I usually butcher people's names, so I do appreciate it. But yes, I will tell you guys all now. I will use that $25 to go get a nice bottle of Johnny Walker Black. I do have a bottle of champagne waiting to open, but that'll be after, Kyle goes to jail. So let me ask guys before we wrap it up. I'm going to keep this down to now 45 minutes. So we'll do it on the hour, 7 minutes from now. Do you guys think he's going to show? Excuse me. I'm still, man, this is a hard call for me because again, I really, really don't want him to show because that's a given. He's done. And it's going to be so bad for him because when they have to go out and get him there, they're often not very nice about that. But I do think there's a high chance he might show because he knows he knows he needs to. He knows that he wants to tell the judge, a bunch of stuff, and that's fine. He can think that. That's not how it works, but whatever. He doesn't get to say anything. The judge, my lawyer gets to ask him questions, and he has to answer, and that's it. It's the case is over. Anything relating to the case is irrelevant. The judge doesn't want to hear any of that. He cannot testify to any of that. It's basically, why didn't you turn it over? That's the only thing that's on the table. So, Rez says you've lost 3 USA friends. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Rez. That sucks, man. Colorado Biker Proper, he said he felt like crap for 3 days. Yeah, from what I understand, it's about 2 to 3 days on the second shot, especially for Moderna. I was talking to Mark Pellegrino the other day about that because he was going to join for something, but he wasn't feeling very well because he just got his second shot as well. So he was telling me that, yeah, I was like, man, it messed me up for a couple of days. So I'm convinced that the second shot probably has a bigger effect. But again, so what? A couple of days, big deal. I've had the smoker's flu, and that was far worse probably. Dr. Cross says, I got to go. LOL, have a drink. It's okay. Geez. Yeah, no, I know. But why, I just don't feel like drinking. I'm just drinking really straight black tea with sugar and a little bit of milk. It's pretty good. But good to see you, Dr. Cross. Jackalope Hoodmaster says, I hope he doesn't show either. He has dragged this long enough. Yep, I totally agree. But at the same time, there's always that chance of a resisting arrest, right? I mean, man, that'd be so awesome. Let's see here. All right, so last vote here. What do you guys think? Going to show or no show? So put it in the live chat, show or no show. I'm just going to put this out there. I'm going to say show. And the reason I'm going to say show is now that I think about it, I think he's so arrogant that he does want to go in for that judge and he wants to just spew his nonsense in court and get it on record. That's what I think that his game plan is. Because it's no hope that he doesn't show. I mean, if he doesn't show and he has an FDA, it's not like a speeding ticket. Because in a speeding ticket, yes, there's a bench warrant and they kind of forget it unless they pick him up. He knows full well that we will find him and we will have somebody go after him. And we have somebody ready to go for that. A paid professional. Not, I don't know their name. I don't know who they are. But I don't have to know that. So I didn't pay for it. My lawyer's doing all that. So, let's look at here. If you have Reach Charbot Show Killer 8529 no show April no show Rez no show R3D3 Y3 no show Jackalope Perdmaster no show Smitty show. Oh shit, me and Smitty have the same thing. That's gonna suck. Chupa no show. I think he's scared shitless. Yeah, no, he is scared. You could tell that Kyle's scared because he gets overly confident. And when I was listening to Cheshire's video, that was all bravado. He is literally scared out of his mind. He knows what it's like to go to jail, and this has scared him. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. I know he's just putting on a front. Absolutely. And he's overconfident. And that's why he's lashing out. And that's why he's still trying to smear me and my reputation and lie about me. Because he's got nothing else. I mean, he has to just fabricate all this stuff. That's why he had to fabricate evidence to the court. This is why there's never been anything like him having a contract with me that he said that he wanted me to sign. No, we didn't need it. We were like, okay, this is a verbal agreement. We solidified it in writing. He knows this. Everybody knows this. I have the actual emails of this. He admitted it. That's never been a question in court. He knows that. But he has to lie to people to keep this facade up, and I don't know why he thinks it's so important to his ego, because that's all it is right now. It's all his ego. That's all he cares about is his image. It's the only thing he's ever cared about is his image. That's what a narcissist does. And I know this now. I understand him better than I did before. I'm not going to be led astray and give him the benefit of the doubt of anything, because I know how manipulative and how deceitful and dishonest he is. Look what he did to Ben. He was one of the most honest guys in the world. Ben is straight up a nice guy, and look how he lied about Ben. I mean, that was just brutal. He can lie about me all he wants because I don't care. But man, Ben didn't deserve any of that. And then I guess he's found some other sucker, I guess. Okay, whatever. Varillion, 60% show. Time Lord show. Kimi Maki show. Let's see. Modest Extremist show. Colorado Biker Pepper doesn't say anything. Can bounty hunters use net guns? No, it's not really a bounty hunter thing. I'm not going to go into details what we have, but I will tell you that we have somebody ready to go for that. And we have somebody for a very long time. So anybody who says we can't, they just don't know what they're talking about. Colorado Biker Pepper, no show. Here we go. Vesta, no show. Paul Lamad, and I'm going to butcher it now. La Madeline, no show. He knows he's screwed, and that's a fair point. But then again, if he knows he's screwed, he knows he's more screwed if he doesn't show, right? Because if he doesn't show, it's really game over. We will have the sheriffs go find him. That I will promise you that. I will promise you all, as supporters of this show, if he does not show and he's in North Carolina, we will do everything in our power to hunt him down and find him and have him arrested by the sheriff's department. I give you that straight up as a promise. My word of honor on that. I don't think he will show by Digimon Monsters. And that's about it. So anyways, yeah, well, Chupa Lupa Lupa says, when has he made a rational decision? He hasn't, but you have to remember, he is really into self-preservation, right? And he's really into ego, and he's really into his narcissism. I think he's convinced himself he can BS this judge, and he's going to try to do that. So that's not a rational decision to BS the judge, but there is no rational decision to be made here, really, other than show up, which is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, we're telling him what he needs to do to get out of the contempt charge. It's not that complicated. But there's so much for him to do that some of this stuff will take 7 weeks to do. He's not going to do it all before a court date. There's no possible way. And so, yeah, it's not a matter of making rational decisions at this point. It's a matter of self-preservation. If he doesn't go to court, it's going to be far greater against him. And I think he does realize that. And I do, before I end this, because we are at the hour now, I do want to thank all my supporters very much once again. And I want even to thank Kyle's supporters, because without them stroking his ego all this time, we wouldn't be where we're at today, where he is almost certainly going to go to jail and probably quite likely prison as well. And I really appreciate the fact that they have just done everything in their power not to give good advice to Kyle. Even his so-called friends, even the people that he was like so close to, none of them were friends enough to tell him, dude, this is what you need to do, and give him good advice. And he could have avoided all of this, but none of them did. And so I really appreciate my friends, the people that I love and I hold dear, the people that I care about, the people that have supported me when they disagree with me. I know they do it out of the love of their heart, that they wanted the best for me. And Kyle has nobody like that. That's the difference. So he can make fun of my channel. He can make fun of me. He can say whatever he wants about me, and it just does not matter, because in the end, I'm the one that has friends. I'm the one that have people that love me. I'm the one that would like to be going visiting with people this summer that I care about and love very much when I go out of town, because I'll be fully immunized and I can see people that I love and care about. And he has nobody that actually gives a damn about him, because everybody that he does eventually finds out what he's really like, really finally understands what a kind of person that he really is. And everybody does eventually leave him. And I think he knows that. And so, by the way, I'm not the one going to jail. He is. So one last thing, Rodent, no last name, $5. Nathan Thompson, debating why drunk and drinking in a hot tub. Kyle much? LOL. Oh, that's funny. I tell you what, I had heard that Ranty is now a glober. He's no longer a flat earther, Rodent. How do you like that? Ranty, right? So anything is possible. Maybe Nathan Thompson will come around. I don't think so. I think he knows he's full of crap on the flat earth stuff. But for supposedly Ranty actually believed that the earth was flat, and now he guess he debates flat earthers and uses what he's learned about the globe to go against them. Who knew, right? So yeah, interesting. All right, guys, it's been an hour and I want to end this. So appreciate it. Leave your comments, your suggestions. And again, I love you all. I love my friends, my supporters, my Patreons, and the channel members. If you haven't become a channel member, please do so. You get a cool little green name and a little badge, and I really appreciate that. If you want to become a patron, please do that as well. I'm trying to put out really awesome content on this channel, because again, that discussion, that review I had of Arn, has got like 2,000 views already, which is awesome for a philosophy video. And I'm going to be doing more than that. People have asked me to do more of that, so I really do appreciate the people that become patrons and supporters of this channel very much. I'm going to be self-promoting myself a little bit more, because obviously this is going to be my only channel. I don't think I'm going to get NonSequitur Show back, and that's fine. So I'm going to be doing everything that I planned for that channel, eventually probably on here with the guests and everything else with Cheshire. One of the things we're doing right now, obviously, is Judgment Call for Mondays, and we'll see you there. Oh, Team Skeptic, one thing. He says, I am ready for the non-sequitur stuff to be over and you to be given what you are deserved. Thank you, Team Skeptic. I do appreciate that. You like the way I say that? Over. Good night.